Peace and love, everybody. What's good? Okay, interesting topic here today. Let's just start here. Shout out first of all to the beautiful kings, the absolutely beautiful kings who rock with your queen Mars. Got to shout these brothers out, my generals. Due to our respect very, very, very much. King Michael Ray, King Daryl Anderson, the King BFTB, and the many other brothers who know what time it is on this page. It was actually while in response to some of their comments, particularly that of Michael Ray and King Daryl, that I thought to do a commentary on this particular matter. Just came to me like, look at the climate that we're dealing with here. As far as these fans go, it just made me kind of have a composite of different thoughts in that moment while responding to their comments on a video that I posted and just in general, some other comments that I was coming across. Now, it's an issue that has reared its head upon the reemergence of Earl Spence Jr. And the dialogue that I had posted regarding his return. But it certainly is something that spans across the boxing world and has, as a whole, been prevalent for quite some time, right? Now, I kind of divulged the topic a little bit in a previous video I did a few months back, where I touched on kind of like the perspective that I find to be just kind of running around in the general mind state as far as expectations of perfection in the boxing world. And within that, the demand from many boxing fans with a perspective that need to see an undefeated fighter or what they would consider to be, as I put it, an unsoiled fighter. Like that whole mindset and what that state means to them to kind of crystallize these fighters. But I want to hone in specifically here today on this premise that kind of sheds a light on an alternative aspect of that I find to be very pervasive in the sport right now. Now, it's absolutely absurd to me that in this boxing climate, one seems to not be able to be both and. Okay, both and. For example, one cannot be an amazing athlete and have experienced challenges in the past or setbacks or defeats or whatever you want to call it. One cannot be in pursuit of their greatness while also having the experience of a few bumps in the road or two, right? Additionally, there's this perspective that as a supporter from this particular perspective and mindset, right, it's assumed that one cannot enjoy, additionally, the process, esteem, and mobility of one fighter while also simultaneously enjoying the rise, progress, and esteem of another. You feel? What is this pick or choose? It's like you can only hold, according to this mindset, you can only hold one card in the deck at a time. You cannot be multifaceted. You cannot be multilateral. What is this mentality, y'all? Where it's no longer about the sport. It's no longer about the heart, but about singularities, about the pedestalizing of a fighter, so much so that you cannot like more than one, or one associated outside of the scope and realm and team of a predominant figure or whatever that is, outside of the camp of a particular fighter. Who are these people? Get this soft ass shit out of boxing ASAP. What the hell is this mentality, y'all? What is becoming of the boxing fan is the larger question that I'd like to pose. Why is this particular mentality, disposition, and frame of thought becoming an epidemic in this sport? Now, I've been a sports fan for a very long time, okay? From the heyday of Iverson, Jordan, I've liked football, I've liked tennis, you name it, okay? I'm aware that emotions and tensions run high among sports enthusiasts the world over, okay? That's just a part of the that's a part of the culture of sports, right? Tensions run high and you have your picks and you get very into it. It's very intense, very intimate connection that one builds with their particular sport of choice. But I would be remiss if I said that I've seen anything close to the bitch assness that I witnessed today within boxing regarding these so-called fans. Okay? These people are not supporters of the cause. They do not value the intelligence, dedication, sacrifice, applied pressure, challenges, or battle scars of these men who get out there and compete and train day in and goddamn day out. They do not respect them. They are not about that. The sole concern of these people, to me, seems to be to cling to the potential and recognition of one man in order that they might put down the credibility, hard work, and progression of another. Subsequently, they hold that fighter that they favor in a very strange position because of this, y'all. Okay? It's a very strange position where they don't want them to be analyzed. They don't want that fighter to be analyzed. They don't want them to be seen or even considered reachable, relatable. Okay? They want to keep a kind of, case around them. They want to preserve them, in some type of glass somewhere, untouchable, made into some type of cartoon or caricature that they want to preserve the shell of. They don't want their fighter, whoever that they favor, to show signs of life. They don't want them to show signs of having lived, experienced, survived something, gotten scraped and scars along the way. They don't want them to, come through having suffered defeats or losses or even show any signs of flaws. Okay. And they don't want those things called out or analyzed or inspected or even questioned. It's crazy. These new fans are too caught up in their own fear of seeing who they support at the moment come up short, or what they consider to be a coming up short. So in that way, they would rather this lion of a man, whoever it is that they like as a fighter, they would rather see this warrior heart sit on the sidelines of mediocrity than to see them having to rise through challenge. They don't want them experiencing anything. They have to remain unsoiled, untouched, unmarred by challenge. They don't want them to have to show endurance. They want them to just win one time and one time for all. Okay? They don't want them having to endure scrapes and cuts and having to face lessons and having to be held accountable for the things that they do. It's insane. They will hold back this warrior spirit that is on fire, right? Ignited, charged, and ready. They will look at that man, that fighter, and drown him in water. They will drown that fiery spirit in water and think that it's for his own good. This is the type of mentality of the fan that exists today. What other sport do you see that in, y'all? Where else do you see that type of smiting of tenacity? In what other sport is the objective of that sportsman, of that warrior, deemed unnecessary? Their objective, their goals, that type of tenacity and forwardness is, oh, you don't have to do that, or you don't have to fight them. You don't have to show up. You don't have to show and prove. What? Where else is it seen as like you not needing to claim that or go after something or achieve something? It's okay for you to settle. It's okay for you to kind of prop your feet up and not have to show and prove. It's crazy to me. And what other sport is a loss at the same time equivalent to the shutting down of that sportsman as a whole? You know how many sportsmen go out here and don't come out victorious? It's a part of the game. It is a sport. It's a continuous process and cycle. It is not something that is, one time and then we go motherfucking paint our toenails for the rest of our careers, and we can just eat off of that one achievement, or we can just be stifled by that one loss if there were one that was faced. Okay? That's crazy to me. You let me know in what other sport that's acceptable. That's the predominant thought process of both the fans and the sportsmen themselves. It doesn't exist anywhere outside of boxing. It's ridiculous to me. Okay? The reality is that these fans are increasingly afraid of competition in boxing. This is the real thing right now. This is what we are facing right now with these quote unquote fans. I swear that there has been a washing in of the most soft, fragile, inept minds I've ever seen in sports. In what other sport is the fan not prepared for due battle? What other sport does a fan come to the show not prepared to see the very thing that they showed up to see? What? It's insane. How do you come not expecting to see your guy compete with the best? How do you come not ensuring that your guy shows up to compete with the best? Okay? It's absurd and it's bizarre. What other sport would fans prefer to have their man, basically walk around like a damn shaking his, waving at the crowd like he's in a damn beauty pageant or something, not having to put that work in, not having to show that grit and bite down and get the job done. Okay? It's crazy. Where, let's say like a man, whether, they show up and whether the team is successful or they come up short in either outcome, that whether they win or whether they lose, that they're demanded and expected to take whatever fate that they met that night and go home forever and never having to return to prove themselves again the next time, whether they win or lose. It's like, okay, you won. Oh, well, you don't have to show up and prove. Nope, you're the man. You just get the title. You just get to hang your hat and live off of that title. And if you lose, oh, well, you lost. You can never come up, back to the game again. You lost. You just got to deal with that forever and ever. It's crazy to me. What these cowardly man fans do not readily understand, in my opinion, is that when you win, you must return to the motherfucking battlefield, okay? When you lose, guess what? You must return to the motherfucking battlefield. There is no one time serves all time, okay? You must come again. You must prove yourself again. You must claim your spot again. These fans think that, when their fighter wins, it suggests that they just get to go home and rest on their laurels and never have to raise a finger after that. They can just live off of that victory or two victories and then stare in the mirror at themselves for all eternity. No. And if a fighter loses, oh, okay, it's the same thing, just on the flip side. Oh, you got to go home, hide, lie down, and shun the light of day. Keep the curtains closed and keep the door locks and just tuck away somewhere. It doesn't operate like that, you guys, to those who bear that mentality. You do nothing for these fighters by keeping them from the conquest of that competitive spirit that they have. This is the hunting ground in boxing. Okay, this is the OG sport of all sports. Okay, and it doesn't matter who you prefer over another. What the objective should be is seeing steel sharpen steel. You won't see these great men rise to the call if you think that they are beyond the notion of proving themselves. I demand that my fighters show up. That's the type of energy that I am coming with. Okay, any fighter that I back has to bring more than, let's say, popularity to the table for me. That's one thing. Okay, cool, I guess. But what I want to see is an insatiable drive. I want to see you willing to overcome. I want to see how you push through, how you claim space. I want to see how you dream. I want to see how you carry your sword. I want to see your education at work. I want to see your knowledge at work in that ring. I want to see what this means to you. I want to see what keeps you inspired, even after amassing success or even after having faced a drawback. I want to see how you bounce back, what you've learned along the way. That's the warrior spirit to me. That is what I am a supporter of. Not a caricature, but reality. That's the inspiration for me. That's why I stand behind the fighters that I support the way that I do. That's why I gravitate towards particular men who show that valor and who show that heart and that courage and that skill and that intelligence. I respect that in any fighter, and particularly of those who have it on display in a way that I can readily recognize and that I find to be palpable. Okay? I don't like the glamorization that is existing right now in these types of perspectives. This person can't be beaten. Oh, no, that person can't be touched. Or, such and such doesn't have to fight this person. Oh, he don't have to fight that person. Oh, he'll beat him anyway. He don't got to fight him. Why would he fight him? He'll beat him. Or, he's made the money, etc. All these types of, waves that people are on. I'm not on that type of time at all. No, that's what your soft ass would do. You would sit around and paint your damn fingernails all day and be complacent because you don't have that heart. Stop projecting your fragility onto these fighters, please, okay? And into the scope of boxing as a whole. Stop that shit. Some of us actually have the stomach for walking through fire without flinching, okay? If it's too much for you, if it's too hot, get out the kitchen. This is where the cooking gets done. Anyway, y'all, I'm on to the next. Peace.